Hello and welcome back to Flight Sim World. Thank you very much for joining me in this video, and today we're going to continue on with the review and the first impressions of this PA40 Warhawk from BlueSky FS. Now before I continue, I am just going to pull something up here. I received a couple of comments from BlueSky FS for the review and stuff like that, but the most important part of this, here we go, the most important part of this is the switches inside. Let me go inside here before we continue on our way. I know the aircraft is off. We are going to start the aircraft up very shortly and take to the skies very shortly. If you haven't seen part 1, this follows along from there. So what I'm just about to say is following directly on from part 1. See these switches, some of the switches that don't work, some of the lights and stuff like that. They are working on it. There is a patch coming out for this, patch 1, which is coming soon. And they've also noticed that the main panel is dark on some people's monitors, so they're going to adjust that to be lighter. So everything that I said was inoperative. Looks like most, if not all, of those inoperative features are going to be working. I think most of them are going to be working from patch 1. So when I give this a final score, I am going to be taking that into consideration. On the other hand, I also received some advice about where things are. I couldn't find the avionics master switch. It's that one there. That's the avionics master switch. Fantastic. We're going to open the canopy for now. What else was I told? Oh yeah, cowl flaps need to be fully open when I'm starting the aircraft. That's why it was probably running hot. So I'm going to set that full open, and then we're going to watch that coolant temperature. And hopefully the coolant temperature doesn't go too high up. Now I'm also going to make a note. This isn't the first time I've tried to record this. I just tried to record this, and you're probably not going to see that video unless you're a Patreon supporter, in which case you might see a clip of that video. But I crashed the aircraft on takeoff, so this is going to be quite interesting. I do have some advice from Chris at BlueSky FS. He says slow power-ups is the key. 30% start rolling, 35, 40, 45, 47% manifold, about 2,800 RPM, and then dance those rudder pedals, in his own words. Good luck. So we will see. We will see what happens. Maybe we'll have... Maybe I'll add that at the end, actually. Maybe I'll add that attempt just for you guys at the end of the video instead of just putting it on Patreon. There'll be a clip where I crash this aircraft on takeoff, or I'm going to crash it in this one for the second time running. And if I do, then I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it going. We'll crash. I've switched off crashes here, and I had it switched off for the other one just in case that happened, so that I could continue testing the aircraft in other ways. But anyway, let's get right on with this. So we're going to go to advanced mode, as I always do. I'm going to use these checklists this time just so you guys can see it. But there are a bunch of checklists, again, like I said, in the operating manual, which match these pretty much like for like. And then after that, there is another bit of information all about takeoffs and all that. We probably won't see a landing from me in this video, but let's get straight on with it. Let's not waste any time. Battery switch on, parking brake on. If you guys don't know where everything is on this, either you can watch it in this video, but I do cover where pretty much every button is, or every switch and every control is in the aircraft in the last video. Rudder trim, 3 units right, so let's get that done. There we go, it's about 3 units right. It's more than 3 units right. That's about 3 units right. Elevator trim, 1 unit to the aft. There we go. Done. Propeller control to full increase all the way up. Cowl flaps to open. So I was just using my switch there. You can see them opening and closing just there. So that's fully open. Fuel selector down here to the front wing tank. Fuel boost pump on. That's that one. Where is it? That one there. Throttle 1-inch open. Primer to prime 1, 2 and 3. The other thing is, what's that? Push hot cold lock. I don't know whether that's hot or cold. Anyway, pumps off now. There we go. Ignition, here we go. Right, time to start this engine. That's started. There we go. Fantastic. Okay. Now that's kind of loud. It's actually going to get a lot louder. Increase to 1,200 RPM. There we go. That's about right. Fuel boost pump we're going to bring back on now. There, and then we've got the generator right there. We're going to switch on. At this point we're going to turn on our running lights. We're going to turn on our landing lights. We're going to turn on those wonderful lights that I mentioned in the last episode that look absolutely incredible. Then we need to go to after start checklist. So we're going to check the pressures. Everything seems okay. I'm worrying about this. I am going to worry about this. So we're going to have to see what happens there. We're going to now test the magnetos by going up to 2,300 RPM. There we go. Now we're going to test these by bringing it down one each time. That's to the right. We're looking for no more than 100 RPM drop. I don't think I set that correctly. Let's go again. Let's actually bring that to 2,300 correctly. There we go. A little bit less actually. There we go. Right, now let's look for no more than 100 RPM drop. There's a drop of about 70 RPM. Great. Back up. We're just taking a listen to it now. And now down to left. And a similar drop. Yep, about 55 RPM there. And back up to both. And now we'll reduce the throttle back down to 1,500 RPM, which is about there, I think. Nope, that's a little bit too less. Should be about, if you look on here, it should be about 17 inches of pressure there, inches of mercury on that. Should give you what you want. Okay, that's great. The controls are free. Brakes have been applied. Parking brake needs to go off. We're actually going to leave the parking brake on just for now. Now we're going to look for more after start checklist, but at this point it's so loud I'm going to actually close the canopy there so you guys can hear me a lot better. There you go. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let's have a quick look outside the aircraft. There you go again. You can have a nice look. There's the cowl flaps. You can see them open. Looks really nice. It does look nice. I did mention about the normal map in the first video and about the, I think I did mention a little bit about the specular highlights on this particular livery, the bare metal livery that I've chosen. But it's okay. I'm no longer at RAF Cosford. Also, I don't think there should be those houses there. I am at somewhere else. Another RAF base. And we are going to be taking off and then flying in that direction. Oh, actually, look, there's some hills there. We're just going to fly towards those hills. And then we're going to do some nice fancy flying around. Now, the coolant temperature has gone up again. It's above 100. I'm not entirely happy about that. What we can now do is we're also going to switch on that radio master. There we go. So that's on. Again, I don't know entirely how to use this. I don't know what that is either. I'm not entirely sure how this works, but I assume it does work and there is a way to get it working. I need to do a little bit more or a lot more study on it, and maybe the features are still coming in. Like I said, I'm going to judge this on what Chris has said from BlueSky FS, because it looks like there is a lot more happening. Great view over here. The coolant temperature is still rising. I am worried about that. Coolant warning light will come on above 120 degrees. Well, that's still got to happen, but it's not. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Cowl flaps are fully open at this moment in time. Right, so we're going to have the RPM is set full forward. We're fine. Takeoff, flaps should be up, canopy open or locked. If taking off with the canopy closed, well, I believe it's locked because the canopy is closed. Pilots may take off with full power, although I'm not going to do that. We're looking at no more than 45 inches of manifold pressure. Takeoff speed looks to be about 110 miles per hour. What I am going to do is I'm going to switch this over. That's what, the left main. That's the right main. I'm actually going to take off with the right main, and then I'm going to switch to the belly tank. I think I'm going to do that. Unfortunately, I don't know whether there's a crossfeed. The coolant temperature has gone up again. Why does that keep going up? What am I doing wrong here? Those are fully open. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Hopefully, once I'm in the air, I'll bring the cowl flaps back in, and then we should be okay. But I'm going to try and take off anyway right now. So let's see what happens. It's not going to be a 3-point takeoff because the tail needs to come up first, and then we need to bring the nose up. This is going to be incredibly complicated. I think it's going to be more than incredibly complicated. So it says slow power ups are the key. Chris says slow power ups are the key. We're looking for 30%. 35, 40, 47, 40, and on the manifold pressure. So let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. And it says we're going to need full right rudder, I think. So, and we might need to do this as well to keep the. Well, actually, no. We've got to do that and then try and bring the nose elevated down to bring the tail up. I don't know. I don't like tail draggers, but let's see what happens anyway. Okay, so you may have seen a slight cut there. Simply because I crashed the plane again. This is really difficult. So it says you're going to need full... Right, it says we're also going to need that to compensate for it. I don't see how this is... I don't see how this is going to do anything to compensate. I'm going to take off on the grass if it is. If that's what happens, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes to take off. No, I'm gonna skid it this time. Okay, I'm up. Okay. This is incredibly difficult. Let's bring that gear in. There's no... I could not... Whoa. I could not counteract that. I could not counteract that at all. Alright, well, we've got that up. That's good. That's a good sign. And now we're going to bring the manifold pressure back. My throttles seem incredibly sensitive. I just could not get this aircraft up. Although that was probably the best one I've done. Right, and now we can probably nose down. And we're going to... Right, let's see what we can do. Should we do a bit of a climb? We'll head over that way. There we go. That's what we're going to do. Let's have a bit of a climb going on. We're at 2,000 feet. We're going to climb right up, and then we're going to see how this flies. I don't think I'm going to land this aircraft. I really need to learn. If I can't take this aircraft off, there's no way I'm going to be able to land this aircraft. I think there's going to have to be a lot of practice there. Critically low in the selected tank. No, this is good. This is good, actually. Because now I can switch this over... right main. Probably want to put that on the belly. No, actually, let me put that on. Let me put that back to. Nope, that was the wrong button. Whoa, I must have switched that into an off position. Good starting sound though. Right, I'm about 45 on the manifold pressure. We're going to continue climbing, I think. We'll just continue climbing in this direction. I think we can get a really decent climb speed here. It seems very stable once it's up in the air. Well, not as stable as I'd hope, but it's certainly pretty stable. I'm going to bring that back as well. There we go. Let's see what sort of climb we can get. We're doing about 200. We're basically doing the fastest we've ever done in Flight Sim World. Movement is really good. That takeoff was a nightmare. I don't know, maybe I did receive a comment, someone saying that it's almost impossible to take this aircraft off. I don't know, maybe it is. On the other hand though, look at that. You can see all the airfields that we used to have, or we still have, all RAF bases. Right, so where should we head? Don't know. Probably need to look forward again as we're descending. So we're doing 260 miles an hour. The aircraft is doing okay. It is doing okay. Nothing too terrible. It's very different. I have to say, that was the hardest. That was the hardest aircraft I have ever experienced when it comes to takeoffs. I have never experienced an aircraft that difficult to take off. We are now at 8,000 feet. The climb rate on this aircraft is really good. Let's see if we can climb. Let's see if we can get a better climb out of this. Let's try for a 4,000 foot per minute climb. Let's see what happens. There we go. Yeah, about there. About there. About there. That will do. That will do nicely. The aircraft is definitely slowing down, but it is climbing at a rapid rate here. We're at 10,000 feet. Doing 200 miles an hour, 190 miles an hour. We're at 11,000 feet. I wonder if we can climb even at an even faster rate. Let's try that right the way down to 150 knots. Let's see what we get. 150 miles an hour, sorry. That's 12,500 feet. 13,000 feet. I think I don't want to be climbing at such a... That felt like it was getting close to stalling. I could feel the air over the wing changing. And that's a really good flight dynamic feeling that I got. I could tell when the aircraft was getting towards the stall. Even way before it even started shaking or anything. So that's really, really good. 14,000 feet. This is tremendous. 14,500 feet. I think this is the highest we've ever been in Flight Sim World as well, so that's really nice. What else we got? 15,000 feet. Do you think we can climb up a little bit further? I think we can climb a little bit further. That looks pretty good to me. 16,000 feet. Should we try and level off around 16,000 feet? I think we should try and level off around this. Actually, no, okay, the aircraft wants to keep climbing. Let's climb a little bit higher then. I think this seems a decent height though. Really does seem like a decent height. So I am going to try and level the aircraft off here somewhat. So look outside now. Look at that. We climbed very, very rapidly. Got a nice bank going on now. That was very, very nice. You know what? To fly this aircraft is very nice. There are a little bit of micro stutters, it seems. Not too sure why. Alright, and now what we need to do is we're going to... Oh, this is so... You know what? I've not seen Flight Sim World from this height. 16,000 or 16,500 feet. I haven't seen. It's very, very nice from this height. But what we're going to do is we have to do a few tricks, of course. I can see a bunch of mountains, so we're just going to head towards those and hills, and we're going to do some stunt flying around the area. So let's head in this direction. Ooh, actually, hold on, I've got a better idea. Why don't we do a more... Right, let's do a Battle of Britain style. Let's see what we can do. So, if I remember correctly, the maneuver is to... We're going to overbank. So we're flying at this sort of... Wow, it's really difficult to keep that elevator where it needs to be. We're doing 300 odd miles an hour. So we need to overbank. So what we're going to do is we're going to overbank, we're going to dive, and then we're going to head in a direction roughly 200 degrees. So let's see what happens. So we're going to dive, and then how are we going to do this? I'm gonna try a random maneuver. Here we go. So over bank, down we go. That's picking up speed really rapidly. Keep it going around, come on. Keep it going around. As we reach almost 400 miles an hour. And we're rapidly losing height as well. At 400 miles an hour, I can feel the controls getting harder to maintain this aircraft, so I'm going to try and ease off on that speed. And then we're roughly in the direction we want to go. And we've picked up a huge amount of speed, dropped to almost 6,000 feet. That was fantastic. That was great to fly. That really did feel good. And we're continuing our descent. Which way should we go? I need to find some hills. There's some hills over there. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to fly straight through this cloud. Very nice. It does, it feels really nice in the air. It's not easy to fly. I'm not going to say this is easy to fly. This is incredibly difficult to fly. It's a very difficult aircraft. Just zoom out a little bit more so you can see and get more of a sense of what I'm doing. At 320 miles an hour, we're going to fly straight through this cloud. Hopefully there's not a mountain or a cliff on the other side. I know there's not a mountain or a cliff on the other side. And then we're going to do some maneuvers. Or some flying close to the ground or something like that. Just something to end this video off. Maintain speed pretty well at this sort of altitude. It just does struggle with height. I'm not going to lie, it does struggle with height. As we blast through this cloud. We've obviously never been this fast in Flight Sim World. This is actually really nice. I can't wait until TrueSky is updated to be more correct. Oh, look at that, there's a whole bunch of... Ooh. Okay, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun, I feel. Look at that's great shadowing. That is really great shadowing through the cockpit. Oh, I feel like this is going to be great fun right now. This isn't part of the Mach loop, I know that. But the fact that I can fly at this sort of speed around this area is just really nice. And the aircraft responds incredibly well. And I'm looking for a really nice area to dive the aircraft into. That's how I want to end the video. I want to be diving the aircraft in through hills. There's a nice area. That looks pretty good to me. Alrighty, let's do this. Tally-ho. I think that's what you say. Over bank. And in we go. Oh, this is fantastic. 320 miles an hour flying over the English countryside, or the Welsh countryside as it were. Oh, this is so cool. This is so cool. Now, if only I can nail that takeoff. This isn't a Spitfire, but oh, it feels great to fly. Then up and over. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. That must have been because the fuel sloshed around the other side. Very interesting. Well modelled. 300 miles an hour. Right down into the valley. Almost hitting the tree. sideways through there. Oh, this is so cool. This is so cool to do. Let's see, where else can we go? This way. Anything around here? There's that ridge line. I know what I want to do. I'm going to barrel roll over that ridge line. Oh, this is going to be interesting. So I need to get enough speed. I'm doing 260 miles an hour. I'm going to go towards that. I'm going to climb up along the side of that valley, or along the side of that hill, and then flip the aircraft over the other end. That's going to be interesting. I don't know if that's possible, but that's roughly where I'm going to end the video, after seeing if that's actually doable. Down and up. Just following the contours of this. Again, the aircraft is complaining about something. I need to read the manual in full. Maybe it mentions in the manual what happens and why it does that. It feels like it's because the fuel's being sloshed around. That's what I feel is going on here. And as we're emptying the tanks, maybe I'll switch to the next tank. Can I quickly switch to that next tank? There we go. Okay, here it goes. Here we go. And climb. And keep the roll going. Keep the roll going. Right over the top. Keep it going around. It's the RPM of the engine drops. Oh, that was fantastic. And then straight into here. Bank it around. All the way around here. Yes, this is an aircraft, and this is a 10 out of 10 aircraft. I thought the Just Flight aircraft was good. No, this is another level of good. Don't get me wrong, the Just Flight Arrow is a lovely, lovely aircraft, but this is just... Let's follow this road. This is just a whole new level of good. And the speed and the sense of speed is just brilliant, it is. And you know how high you are off the ground, and it feels like you can control it. The takeoff, yes, I'm going to put that down to me. I'm going to put that down to not enough practice. It's very, very difficult to take this aircraft off. There goes the road. Yeah, I am still trying to wonder. I'm trying to work out what happens with the RPM of the engine. I'm assuming this is to do with fuel flow. I am assuming this is to do with fuel flow as I do those rolls. But oh, this is so good. I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. I do hope, and bear in mind I'm putting this with patch 1. I'm assuming with patch 1 and the extra features actually working and in this, so that's why I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Otherwise it would probably be something like an 8 out of 10. But the way this aircraft flies, look at that, it's just so agile. Sure, it's probably not the best aircraft. I can't wait to fly a Spitfire. BlueSky FS, please make a Spitfire. But it's so nice to fly. It feels like a World War II aircraft. I can't wait until I really understand the whole concept of it, of the takeoffs and landings on it. And I'll certainly be making more videos on this once I understand the whole takeoff and landing. But for now, I think I'm going to have to leave you there because it's been half an hour on this video. It's already been a long time. I'll tell you how I'll end this. See that over there? I'm going to see if I can get right over that crest from a very low height. Let's see what the climb performance is like on this aircraft. We're going to go... Oh, that's so nice to fly. It feels like a World War II fighter. It flies like a World War II fighter. It sounds like a World War II fighter. And you know the best part about it? I'm not seeing much of a performance hit on it. So thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Flight Sim World, especially if you want to see me get a decent takeoff done. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think of this aircraft. Is it worth purchasing? In my own opinion, I think yes, it's definitely worth purchasing. But you guys can decide for yourselves whether you feel like it's worth a purchase or not. You'll find this on Steam. I think if you like your World War aircraft and you like a challenge, this is highly worth it. Plus, it's the fastest aircraft you get in Flight Sim World at the moment, and that in itself is quite special. Once again, thank you very much for watching. As I said, if I didn't say it, but I'm going to say it again anyway, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please support me on Patreon. Link to that is in the description box below. I would massively appreciate your support. It would help me out a huge amount. Oh, that was close to stalling as well, as I did a high G turn there. That's fantastic. I'm going to go fly this a little bit more, and I will see you guys next time in Flight Sim World.